This is Puppets by Arlee. I'm Arlee, and this is how you make a scarf marionette. Now, this design of a scarf marionette was originally by a German puppeteer called Albrecht Roser. And it's a phenomenal design with just a scarf and weights on the hands and the feet, and then a simple control. So let's get started. To get started, you will need a scarf, of course. You can use any size scarf you want, and the neat thing about this design is it's not going to ruin the scarf. So you can take the puppet apart and it can go back to being a scarf again. My scarf happens to be 30 inches by about 19 inches, but it doesn't matter what size. Then I also have 5 rubber bands. You will need 4 marbles or wooden beads, or you could also use little rocks. I have some scrap fabric here that I'm going to put into a ball that's like a little bit bigger than a golf ball. You could use polyester fiber fill or a little ball of paper or a plastic bag. Anything that you can make a ball to stuff with. And then for the control, I have a piece of cardboard here that's 8 inches by 8 inches. And then some marionette string. So take your scarf and you're going to fold it over 1/3 of the way. Then take your scrap fabric, ball it up into a tight little ball, then put it in the middle of your puppet. And then take one of your rubber bands and rubber band it around. Now take your corner of your scarf, lay it down against the back, and you're going to take a marble and wrap it up in both sides, the front and the back, and rubber band that together. And then do that same thing on the other side. Take the corner and the back of the scarf. Layer them over the marble and rubber band it all together. So this marble is covered by 2 layers of fabric on the hand section. So we got our 2 hands and our head there. And then down here is the feet. So 1 foot, take a corner, just single layer of fabric, and rubber band that together. And the last foot. All right, puppet building done. Next, take your cardboard. That's going to be your controller. We're going to put the head on one corner of the cardboard. We're going to put the arms on the other corner of the cardboard, and then the rest of the cardboard piece will be just for holding. Now for the head, make the side strings a little bit wider than the head. So take a pokey stick and I've made a triangle of holes for the head strings. These are going to be the side strings of the head and a string for the back of the head. And here in the front, as far forward as you can get, make 2 pokes for a running hand string. All right, controller done. Next, let's take a needle, and I have 3 strings for the head string here. And lay your puppet out flat. I'm going to use the front. You can choose whether you want it to be the front or the back. But at the hemisphere of your puppet, get a needle and do a stitch through and tie it off. And then opposite of that side. Now I have taught this design to little kids. This design works great for exposing little kids to marionettes. The kids can put together the scarf part, but I found the only way to do it is for the grown-ups to work with the needle. Maybe if you have any ideas of how you can make this puppet design safe for little kids to use without a needle, comment below. Okay, we got our 2 side strings there. Flip that sucker over, and then right in the middle, in the back, we're going to put a head string in the back. You don't have to use marionette string either. You can use yarn or thread or dental floss or whatever you got. Albrecht Roser's original design uses all wooden beads for the head and the hands and feet. So if you have access to large wooden beads, that is ideal. All right, so we got our 3 head strings on. This will make it so that this puppet can look forward and rock side to side. Then last thing before we stand up and start stringing, pick one hand and tie your running arm string around the hand, around one hand. All right, let's get stringing. Now we string our newly made puppet onto our control. So first, take the holes and you're going to string the side strings on the head side strings onto the side part, and the back of the head is going to be strung onto this corner part. So get your puppet facing front. Get your control facing with the head towards the back and the running hand string towards the front. And thread through each side string. And then string your puppet so that when it hits the ground, but it's still standing upright, and your arms are kind of at your waist, that's a perfect length. And pull each side string to be sure the head is looking straight forward. One isn't tilted more than the other. And then you can either tie this off, or for speed right now, I'm using just pieces of masking tape and tape over the hole. So there is my taped head strings. Now take the back of the head, string it through the back hole, and be sure you're not pulling it so that the puppet is looking down. The puppet, when you hold your control flat, the puppet is looking straight ahead. And tape or tie that. Now take your running hand string. We've tied it to one hand. Get a long string for this one. I have tied my first hand to the puppet's right, so that means that I'm going to go through the bottom part of the control on the right side. And pull that through. Then you're going to make a big stitch across the top with this string. So go down through the top of the control. And this is kind of the toughest part. You're going to find where the puppet has its arms down, and you're going to tie off the string on the other side and cut it off. We are finished with our puppet. Now you puppeteer this marionette by using the running hand string to also work the feet below for walking. And you can tilt the controller forward and back to get head movement, looking down and looking side to side. It's a very expressive marionette just for how simple it is. And there you have it, a scarf marionette built quickly, ready to perform.